joining us today on Take 5. In this series of teachings, we're looking at the revelation of strengthening grace. And we're looking at it from Paul's point of view. We're looking at Paul's revelation of grace, his experience of grace, his prayers concerning grace, and then also his exhortations to grace. And so we're just going to finish up a little bit today and shift over to Paul's experience, finish up on his revelation. And I want to go back to Philippians 4. We were there in our last teaching, where Paul said to the Philippians, and it's a testimony of his life. It's not a faith confession or a good saying to try to pump himself up. He's presenting a reality of truth in his life. And he said to the Philippians, I can do all things, and then he tells us how, through or because Christ strengtheneth me. Strengtheneth there is in the present continuous tense. Just like a battery needs to be charged to stay at full strength so it can do its work and produce, we need to continually be strengthened by the grace of the Lord to deal with all the things we need to deal with. Now I want to read this to you from the Amplified Bible, Philippians 4:13. Paul said, Amplified Bible, Philippians 4:13, Paul said, I have strength for all things. I have strength to resist the devil. I have strength to love the unlovable. I have strength to stand in hard circumstances. I have strength to resist the temptation of the devil. I have strength to run my race. I have strength to do what God has called me to do. I have strength for all of these things that you have to deal with in life. I can deal from a position of strength. Do you know why? Because Christ empowers me. He does exactly what Jesus does exactly what he told Paul in 2 Corinthians 12. He said, my grace, it's enough for you because my strength will manifest in your weakness. And Paul said, I will glory in my infirmities that the power of Christ may rest upon me. Now here in the Amplified, Paul says, I have strength for all things in Christ who empowers, E-M-P-O-R-E-S, empowers. Sometimes I like to say empowers, because there's exceeding great power for us who believe. I have strength for all things in Christ who empowers me. And listen to this, I love this from the Amplified. He said, I am ready for anything. He's kind of like, bring it on. I'm ready. Now see, most of us, we hope tomorrow's easier. It's like, God, I hope I don't have another week like this, or, oh, this is the worst year of my life. My last couple of years have been a little rough too. And your natural thinking is, man, I hope things get a little easier, but sometimes they don't. So we see that Paul has a different kind of posture than is kind of normal to a lot of Christians who wish things would change. And Paul said, I'm ready for anything. I'm ready for anything. It's just a fact of his life. I am ready for anything. And then notice this in the Amplified. And I am equal to anything. So that means you put 100 pounds of pressure on me, I have 100 pounds of grace. You send 3 demons against me, I've got 3 demon power. I have 5 difficult people to deal with today, I've got 5 difficult people power grace. Whatever I need internally to equip me to deal effectively externally, I have it, because grace, when Jesus gives it, it's always sufficient. It's always enough for that. It's enough for that. So Paul said, I'm ready for anything and I'm equal to anything. You know, when they send a submarine down in the, I'll use a different example. When we go snorkeling or scuba diving and we get under the water, as we go deep, the pressure increases and you feel it first in your eardrum, and your eardrum starts to hurt. And it hurts because of the external pressure. Now, you either have to surface, or you have to go deeper and burst your eardrum, or you have to plug your nose and blow. And when you do that, you put pressure behind the eardrum so that it's equal to the pressure on the eardrum. You equalize pressure on both sides. Thanks for joining us today at Take 5.